just what you said. I expect you to do just what you said.
Who makes me do right? Who makes me do right? When I would do wrong, when I would do wrong, Jesus will. Jesus will. Jesus will. The next part is simple. We're going to say, oh yes, Jesus will. Come on, say it. Oh yes, Jesus will. That's all it is in the song. Making that confession. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Jesus will. Jesus will. I know he will. I know he will. He said he will. He said he will. He'll fight my battles. He'll fight my battles. If I keep still. If I keep still. If I keep still. I know that he will. Jesus will. Jesus will.
God, show that your word is signed, sealed, delivered, and ready to receive unto our hearts, God. You sent it through me to God. Now I am a willing vessel to God. Take my mind, take my heart, take me, all of Stephen, and use it to deliver a powerful message that will be able to change the lives of people to God that have come out to this life class to God. It's in you that we have our being and we move and we breathe. And so God, give us the word that will help us live, move, and breathe at our optimum and at our easiest way. It's in your name we pray and give you praise. Amen.
Amen.
Graduation. I'm going to give you guys some terms to kind of look over. I have a new book for my writing lesson, so it's a lot easier for me to move around in. So I thank God for this. Okay? Graduation. So I already talked about graduation, meaning that it's at the end of the academic term. What are some other things, I want y'all to talk back to me, of possible things that graduation could mean? What does it mean for people in their lives?
New beginning.
New beginnings. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
Fresh start.
Fresh start. What else?
Phase in life.
New phase in life. Anybody else? Okay, so upon my research of the word graduation, that was the first thing that came up because that's the most one that we know. It was the ceremony where usually a diploma is conferred. And I knew what conferred meant, but I looked it up again, and it means it's given or honored upon. So I'm deeming a award on you. I'm giving you a diploma. I'm giving you something in exchange. I'm giving you a degree. That was the first one. But the second definition is what we're going to deal with that will make sense. And I want you to write this down. It is the markings used for measurements. The markings used for measurements. So if you look at a ruler, a graduation is a noun, just like the other one, but it is the markings that are on a thing. So when you see a ruler and it has etched into it, it's the etched into it marking. It's when you see 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 1.5, 1 3/4, 1 1/4. Those are etchings. Those are called graduations. And so those are markings that are in it. Another definition now I want you to kind of look into is it's a mark indicating a boundary of such an interval. So it gives a boundary, which is the same thing, a boundary to it. So if we look here, this could be on this floor. I just saw this, so if you can see, you can. There's a line right here and a line right here. And these are graduations in the floor of this place. It's going to give some type of measurement. Usually it's going to some type of square footage that are here. This is like a maybe 3 by 7, 3 by 6 or something like that on the floor. 2 by, this way. These etchings are stated in here, in this floor, and they give a boundary. So if I say stay inside the 2 boxes and don't go beyond that, that is the limit or the graduation of this. The 15th century definition I looked up in the word etymology. I'm sharing these with you because it's going to make sense. It is the refining to a certain degree. So not only is it the measurement of it, but it's a refined specific section of something. So if I'm saying this is the dance floor, all this is the dance floor, but I need these 5 people to be in these 2 squares. Your graduation markings are here, and this is the refining area for those 2 people. This is where the things happen for them. Is that making sense to you all? Okay? So, together, these are my definitions that I came up with about graduation. Because it's 2 things. We look at it from the academia side, where it's a point where you stop. It's a point where you get something for finishing a certain set of degrees. You've done something, you've gotten your grades right, you've done the right electives, they give you everything you needed to do, and you finish that. You got that, and then it's also the point of measurement. So graduation, Hudson's version is, it is the boundary that is on a particular event or thing in your life. It is the boundary or particular event or thing in your life. So for me, graduation from high school, what was the boundary of graduation? I could not go past 12th grade, because if I went past 12th grade, I would be out of high school. So at the completion of high school and the beginning of high school, those boundaries were freshman year and senior year. Those 2 things. Those were boundaries that were set in order to notify me that I had completed that course in my life. Is that making sense? Okay, so let's tie that to another thing. What happened in between freshman year and senior year? Time happened between that. And so we're moving from necessarily not only the ruler measurement of graduation, but we are talking about a chronological measurement that can be also ruled as a ruler. Have we ever seen the chronological lines? If you look through in the Bible, they have them. And my parents gave me this Bible years ago. I still very much love it. But at the beginning of every single chapter, there's a chronology in front of it that says, Esther did this. She was queen here. She did this then the king came here. And it may be something that has nothing to do with it. But as you look at it, those are sketchings in time.
Right.
Graduation marks in time, marking when something started, when something happened, what could have happened before or after. And if you only need to look, say, only to 16 AD, and we started at 8 AD, anything that happens before then or after then does not matter. But what happens in that point, between those 2 graduation marks, are what's going on in that time and season. So when we talk about graduation, it is, and the topic that was on it is, what are you graduating from? The one thing that we have to understand is that everything in life has a boundary on it, and it has a time on it. Everything in life has a boundary and a time on it. Let's bring this to life. The problem is in life is that people do not know what their boundary is, and they do not know what their intervallic time is. So, in the spirit or in life, your measuring tool, because we were talking about graduation, the measuring tool, because if it's etched in something, there has to be a time. The etchings represent 2 things. They represent time and assignment. Okay. Time and assignment. You can have one without the other, but to be the most effective, you've got to have the right timing and the right assignment at the same time. If your assignment is not aligned with the time, you're going to have difficulty progressing through your life. Graduation is going to be harder for you than anything else. Getting to the end of that interval, let me look because y'all are left to right, so I'm going to do it this way. Getting to the end of that interval may be a little harder if the timing is not set properly throughout the course. Mm-hmm. Let's think about it. I am a freshman in high school, because we've all gone through the same freshman in high school. I am a freshman in high school. I play around my whole freshman year. Flunk 3 classes, core classes like math, science, and English. I don't play as much in my sophomore year, but I didn't go to summer school my freshman year. So I was supposed to have 6 credits my first year. I left with 3. I go to my sophomore year. At the end of that year, I'm supposed to have 12 credits. But I failed 1 class then, so I only took 3 the last time, and I'm taking 5 this time. So I've got 8 out of the 12. Now I go to my junior year. I really tried hard, but I didn't know AP English was gonna be that difficult. So I failed English, and I didn't go to summer school again because I wanted my summers to myself. And so now I'm supposed to have 18 credits, but I only have 13. And here I am in my senior year with 13 credits, and I need 24 to graduate. So what happens is, time, the interval is leaving.
Right.
Because you go for 4 years. And so the things that are supposed to happen during the point of graduation, during your life, as you matriculate through the system of high school, and you go through, you're supposed to be able to go to your dances, and you're supposed to be able to do this, you're supposed to be able to have your trips, you're supposed to be able to take random elective classes just because you like them. You can't, because your schedule is jam-packed, all 8 periods, with freshman classes, junior classes, sophomore classes, and your senior classes that you have to do to make up for it. But guess what? The interval is still there, and it's still a possibility to happen. That's what we kind of call that thing that God gives us, this thing called grace. There's an amount of favor that you have to make up the time. But the problem is that your assignment is still there, and you still have much work to do. And there's still help and aid for you to do it. It's just harder than it is supposed to be done. Can you still graduate? Yes, you can still graduate. But can you graduate with as much ease? Can you graduate with as much stuff? So here we are. Last time we talked about the ability to say no, the N word, the ability to say no. There are some things in your life that have a yes and a no.
All right.
It's no in between. James said in chapter 1, verse 21, he said, let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. James 1 and 21. Let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes.